down the line, maybe you're 36. You got some real choices to make. Real choices. You said that you have men that are interested in you long term right now?
Yes, but I don't find them physically attractive for
Then
me.
buy a vibrator. Buy a vibrator. Hello.
Hi, Kevin.
How are you?
I'm well, thanks. How are you?
I'm all right. How old are you?
I'm 36. I'll be 37 next month.
30. And you are from where?
New Zealand?
All right. What do you got for me? We're talking about modern women are not prepared. What do you think?
I would agree, because I probably fall in the category of being a modern woman.
Okay. Are you single or are you married?
Single?
Any kids?
No.
All right. So what are we talking about today? You have a question? You want to chime in on the topic? What?
Could you please repeat the question? Because I did hear you briefly and I think it was relevant to me, but I just want to make sure that I'm on track.
Either you're preparing to be a wife or you're preparing to be single and die alone. That's pretty much it. There's no in between. And you're 30. You're 30. How old?
36.
36. So, do you want to be married?
I do now, but it's not something that I prioritized when I was younger.
Okay.
So I realized that I'm in the danger zone.
Oh, you're past
well
the
and
danger
truly.
zone. No, you're past the danger zone. You're in no man's land.
Yes, about ready to be put on the what did you say, like the second-hand rack or something like that?
You are officially on clearance.
Yes.
You're 36.
But still not willing to accept it because I do have offers, but it's from people that I'm not attracted to,
Well, that's the
even
problem
though they
now,
can provide a nice life.
That's the problem now, isn't it?
Isn't that strange? And I was just talking to a young lady. She's probably watching this. You get these offers from these guys. It's still an offer, but you say you're not attracted to the guy. And as much as women say that looks don't really matter, or women will say to a certain extent looks aren't that important. You know, a personality, what he's able to provide, assets and things like that seem to be of more importance. But she's like, I probably got all that, and these offers, these guys are busted, they're old, they probably got some cash, but 36 years old, how many proposals have you turned down? A lot of you ladies watching, how many proposals have you turned down? And then you sit back and reflect, man, I should have took one of those. But anyway, 36. Go ahead, Kiwi. Let's see what you're talking about.
On clearance. And when people want to buy stuff on clearance, but it's never the premium buyers now, is it? You know, people who have the money to buy on season, items that are hot enough to sell on season get sold. When you're on clearance, you didn't sell on season. Because you said you didn't prepare, you didn't prioritize marriage younger. Okay, that's fine. Cool. But my question is, we know what you didn't do. Before we get to the next part, I need to know why you want to be married now. That's important.
I definitely don't want to grow old alone.
Okay.
It would be nice to have a companion sometimes to travel, or even just someone to come home to talk to. I would imagine that one of the priorities of being in a marriage is to support each other through, I guess you can expect more difficult times from a certain age in life where you may have to attend funerals for people that you care about. If you end up in hospital or something like that, then it's really important to have someone to take care of you. And you can't expect someone that you've only known for a short time to be that person. You really have to have invested in someone long term for them to be the kind of person who would be there for you in the important parts of life.
Invested.
So
the highs and the lows.
So what I'm kind of hearing, if I'm correct, is I'm hearing that you want a companion.
Yes.
Okay.
Invested. Yes.
Well, a companion is not necessarily a husband. That's different. You can have So my question still is the same, because nothing in what you described is you being a wife to a man. You described what you want from a marriage, which is a companion. But I could give you, but why do you need to have a husband?
But that's what you asked her. What does she want? You know, she obviously the first. Most women aren't gonna be like, "I want to be a wife." They just gonna say what they need. They're not automatically gonna say what. Hey, by the way, I'm an awesome cook. I'm looking for this, but I'm an awesome cook. I'm a great listener. I'm a good back rubber. The cheeks clap on command or just by me walking. All this incredible stuff. I'm beautiful. Fit, feminine, friendly, in shape, cooperative, all these things, you know. So, yeah, most women aren't going to start out that. They're just going to say what it is that they want.
Because the husband is somebody who's supposed to protect, provide. You're also supposed to have a sex life and all that. You can have a companion that's not a husband.
Protection and provision and sex is also something that I want.
Yeah. Do you want children?
6.
I'm aware of where I am in the timeline, so I'm pretty realistic about.
But do you want them? Is the question.
I have never met someone who made me feel like wanting them was something that I should do.
Do you want them?
Okay.
I had one person that, but then I changed my mind. And aside from that,
did you go to college?
yes,
Do you have a graduate degree or higher?
a master's degree.
Okay. Where in the biology of the female mammal in particular, does a man's ability to provide or whatever instinctively arouse a woman's desire to have?
Sorry, could you please repeat the question?
Is the desire to have children a natural thing, or is it something that's stimulated by the male?
Good question.
That's a good question. I actually don't know the answer to that.
When you had a cycle, you were, in these terms, a teenager. So you had the ability to conceivably get pregnant and carry life. All right. So the conditions you put on pregnancy and child rearing have nothing to do with the biology of it.
I understand that.
So to say that I haven't met a man that makes me want to have kids, that ain't about a man. That's about you.
Once again, hit it on the head. Hence why baby showers are more important than weddings. Why it's really not, you know, I've reacted to countless videos. Kevin's talked to countless women who just use the guy for his seed. That's why, fellas, protect your seed at all costs. Once they get his seed, they dispose of him. You have people who aren't even heterosexual that desire to have kids. They go to banks, they hire someone and get the turkey baster and do all those wonderful things. So, you know, completely get it.
So, and understand one of the major reasons men choose to get married, especially in the West, with the way things are going, a big part of that is kids. And I'm not hearing a woman who's really a wife. I'm hearing a woman that wants a partner.
Most of them say they want.
That's understandable.
Is that what you want? You want a partner? Because I said that earlier on, that modern women aren't prepared to be wives, and they're not preparing to be wives. And as such, women have a choice to make. So you're like the perfect person for me to say this to. What do you want, ma'am? Do you want a partner, a life partner, a partner? Or do you want a husband and to be a wife? Those are two distinctly different things. What do you want?
Could you please clarify the difference? Because based on my life experience, I'm not sure I really understand.
Well, a wife is a role. Like in the United States, there's the president and then the vice president. The vice president is the president of the Senate. The vice president has no power unless the president dies. The wife's roles typically are the nurturing and rearing of the children, the transmitters of the culture, the support of her husband, the familial bonds, the community, things like that. It's the typical female role. The male's role is typically provision, protection. Now, even in today, while most people, we don't live in most places, it takes more than one income. So that doesn't mean the man has to pay all the bills. And especially at 36, you've been working your entire life anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I said it, if you're over 35, the chances of just getting married and becoming a housewife but one has a hierarchical organizational structure. The other one is just people almost like they just come together like roommates. You split the bills, you split things halfway, you share the bed together. I mean, that's that whole partner thing.
On the one hand, I can appreciate splitting the bills, and on the other hand, I'm not aroused by that.
Well, you want a man to pay the bills?
I don't think I would.
And this is where the whole partner and wifey comes in. A lot of you guys comment on here. She'll never be a partner. She'll always be a subordinate. You know, but baby, he's not your partner if he's paying all the bills. That doesn't make you his subordinate either, even though you guys like, JR, my wife will always be my subordinate. Baby, you want somebody to take care of the bills. You're not trying to pay all that by yourself. You know what I mean? You're looking for a hubby. If you're looking for somebody to pay the bills. But most of the ladies that contact Kevin, they'll say they just want a partner. Basically they don't want to be alone, but they don't want to pay the bills either. I don't want to be alone, you know, and here's the dog, or you can get a partner, which is a woman, you know, but hey, you don't want to be laying in bed at night. Father Time, you know, he basically is already entered, walked through the door, let you know, hey, I'm here, I'm home, I'm here to stay. And the lights aren't glowing the way they used to, and you need somebody in bed with you, and hey, you tired of the pillow in between the legs and, you know, rolling left and right in bed.
I enjoy the work that I do.
Now understand something. I'm not making a value judgment in any way, but the most important thing is to be honest. Because if you need to be honest with yourself, because like I said, I'm not judging either way, but I can't really give you my input if you're going to tell me something that just kind of sounds good. Do you want to have to, if you're with a man, do you want to have to go 50-50?
If I had children, definitely not. No, I would. But if we didn't have children, then I would, and I guess perhaps that disqualifies me from even being considered as a wife, not having children, then
it changes the calculus. Yes, it does. Definitely changes the calculus.
Contribute, but perhaps not in a 50-50 way. I guess it depends on what their role is, and I am used to being around generous men, and I find that attractive.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. Of course you do, but men had to become generous to get women to even do what they used to do.
Facts.
Y'all aren't doing y'all's part anymore. So what I just heard you say is, if we had children.
You know how people, I know it's people watching from all over the world, but just the terms they use. I'm used to being around generous men, or I'm a lady of leisure, and all types of stuff like that, man. I love the way, you know, the Brits, the Austrians, the Kiwis. I love, you know, how you guys talk and the words you use.
A thing that I'm not naturally inclined to want to do That's what you kind of said. So it's not like you're saying, "Ooh, I want to have babies." It's like, well, I have some kids if I find the right guy. But if I do that, then I want to be taken care of. I want you to put yourself in the men's position. Why would a guy be excited to take that on? A woman who doesn't want to have kids, but if she does take kids, then you got to pay for everything. And she's in geriatric pregnancy already.
Yeah, I could understand why people would rather choose someone who's younger and really wants to be.
I think the age is the factor here, but fellas, be realistic. I hear what Kevin is saying, and I know he might have said, I think he said something different in the past, but if you're gonna get married and have kids, man, you should be able to take care of your wife and whatever kids she may have. Would you really want your wife to work and send your kids to daycare, or would you want your wife to stay at home? I don't think she's being unreasonable. Now, the age thing is different, but if a guy is willing to marry her and she's willing to have his kids, he needs to support both of them. Just me, so you He-Man woman haters can go ham in the comments now, but have fun.
Be a mother. I think it would be more suitable for someone who hasn't prioritized education and career.
Do you think you're offering a fair deal?
Well, it depends on the deal, but from what we've just discussed,
you used to rich men or generous men or whatever. Are you giving as much feminine value as he's giving masculine provision?
And if she isn't, don't marry her. It's plain and simple. If she wants to have kids and stay at home and you want her to have kids, it's a no-brainer to me. But
in theory, well, I guess it's more than just children. I actually do like cooking, taking care of like cleaning and things like that. I like that kind of gender role. But I guess I've just never felt, or perhaps I have felt the urge at times to have a baby, but I've suppressed it. I'm a logical person, and I was also a school teacher for 10 years, so I have perhaps more experience with children than the average person.
Right.
I'm very aware of the amount of investment.
But she's on that. I know. I think I know what Kevin's about to say. But you would think, being a school teacher, you would like kids, but she's probably on the other side of that. That she's probably had enough and like, I don't want to deal with this, but it's a job, it's educated. You know, you had school teachers also who was mean as hell and didn't, in the same token, and we know school teachers who never had kids either. So, but I see what Kevin's about to say. She's probably like, I done had enough.
Most to do that job well.
Most teachers won't have families in this country. See, when I ask you, are you offering a fair deal? You didn't. The answer was no. That's why you had to go in theory. You know you're not. What you would like to have versus what you're offering. What you would like to have is a man who's able to provide. That puts him in the top percentile of men from an economic standpoint, right? All right. What are you in the top percentile of women?
No.
From a demand standpoint, what men are, what's in high demand by men?
Oh, do you mean like which number I would be on the scale? Or?
Well, what's in high demand by men are women who have a mindset that's agreeable, cooperative, and she's smart. A woman that's fit internally and externally. She's dedicated, disciplined, discerning. She's feminine, which is she's accommodating. She's comforting, and she has a subtle sophistication, and she's naturally nurturing, which means she has a carefree, loving, light, easy side. Those last two, I'm not getting anything from you on that. I'm getting flatline on feminine and naturally nurturing. So automatically, I would tell you automatically that would put any woman in a out of high demand contention.
Because I'm not nurturing or feminine.
Yeah, because you're not a wife. You're not a mother. I mean, you're logical and you're talking about having children, almost like a Vulcan, which is cool. But men, you're almost talking, which is cool. But a lot of men don't like that. A lot of men don't like that. A lot of men want women who, look, if you're talking about a man who's, you said you like generous men, right? Generous men are in short supply. Women are 51% of the population. All women come with a vagina, all the standard equipment. So what are you really offering as a woman, as any woman has to say, what am I offering to the men that are rare, the kind of men that I want? And with you, I'm hearing that I'm a logical person, I'm a school teacher, but it's like, okay, what I'm gathering is you probably want a man that's outside of your SMV. How tall are you?
170 centimeters.
We're over here in the United States. Put that in feet.
I have to use my conversion.
How much do you weigh? I mean, what's your dress size? How about?
Actually, if you don't mind, I can go and get the details from my purse. Just a.
Well, no, or this is just about how much do you weigh? That's about all we need.
I think I'm a size 8,
Okay.
an American sizing.
All right. So, ma'am, at
about 70 kgs.
At a 36-year-old woman who's a school teacher, right?
I'm not a school teacher anymore. I was for 10 years.
Okay. What level?
I reached highly accomplished status in Australia.
What level did you teach at, though?
Oh, sorry. Primary school. 6 and 7-year-olds were my favorite age.
6 and 7.
Yeah.
Due respect, ma'am. 36-year-old second grade teachers aren't in high demand. They're simply not. This is almost like you sound like you want a partner, which is fine, because you don't sound like you're really motivated to have kids.
Nah.
Sounds to me like you would like to have a man who...
She burnt out. Especially, I don't know how long she's been out of teaching, but I'm assuming she probably started... not assuming, had to be early 20s. In 10 years, dealing with 6 and 7-year-olds, good night. Yeah, she probably burnt out. You either love it or you hate it. So she's like, I'm done with that. That's probably why she got out of... Because when you're a teacher, from what I know, you have a passion for teaching. You want to do it. You have a passion or what you think is a love for kids. And she probably was like, all right, I've done this long enough. Let me go ahead and skate up out of here. I know the teachers are going to comment and people who are related to teachers and things like that, But me, from my personal experience, and my daughter's mother's a teacher, so you have to have a passion for it.
Financially fit or well off, and you would just be partners and be like a travel companion. Almost what I would call like an executive wife. But here's the problem. Many women want that, and they got the feminine thing going on. You almost are coming across like a man. Masculine. Have you heard that before?
I've felt that. Yes, and I guess I think you've said in a previous video that can't really be changed. It's how you're raised, and so.
Well, not at this age.
Am I right?
Not at this age. I mean, at 36, you're pretty much, this is it. Because even if your OBGYN says you are get a medical clearance to have kids, you don't really have the desire to. The desire to have kids would come extra you, which is one of the major reasons men get married. So why would a man choose a woman like yourself? That means the only reason I would say if I would choose a woman like yourself, if I want to have kids, you must have exceptional genes, meaning your people must come from almost like we're breeding pedigrees. But I mean, at the end of the day, no offense, second grade teacher. You may be an exceptional second grade teacher, but second grade. So then you have to look at, well, are you getting exceptional genetics? Maybe above average. All right. then what about looks? You have to be a freaking knockout to overcome all these other things. So, could you be with an average man? A plumber?
Are you talking about average in looks or income or both?
Income. Because we're not supposed to be the lookers. We're supposed to be the earners.
Facts.
An average earning New Zealand man. Whatever they do in New Zealand, they played in the Lord of the Rings or some shit. I don't know. Whatever they do over in New Zealand, they do that shit. They're elves and extras and Aquaman, whatever.
We do have a lot of tradesmen in this country.
Yeah, could you marry one of those guys?
I mean, I possibly could, but I don't typically find that attractive.
Well, then, here's what you got.
There's nothing.
I don't care what you find attractive, ma'am. You're a 36-year-old second grade teacher.
I'm interested in hearing, what do you find attractive? You say the guys who proposed to you or wanted to get with you, they weren't...
With exceptionally high standards.
I don't know what happened just now. They weren't attractive, and a tradesman isn't attractive, and you don't want to have kids. You're kind of stiff and robotic. I don't know. Maybe she might be cool to hang out with. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
And you're only getting older.
Facts.
If you don't marry this man who's a provider and attractive, are you going to have enough money to last you from 65 to 85 when you retire?
At this stage, definitely.
How much money do you think you'll need to last for 20 years? 20 elder years.
Goodness me. I mean, I know you've talked about this a lot, but I haven't
This
calculated it.
This ballpark.
I would just rather be dead, to be fair.
How much?
I would rather be dead than be old and living on a shoestring.
Well,
Did.
you might do that too, but what do you think if you don't? What do you think?
For 20 years. Well, you'd need at least 50,000 a year, so at least $1 million.
In this country, you need 1.9 million, so you're still $1 million off. And see, what I need you to understand is you said I would rather be dead than living on a shoestring budget. But unfortunately, this is the dilemma for modern women, because you guys don't know how to do relationship. And even in no man's land, you're still prioritizing foolish things like attractiveness and a man's provision ability. And you don't want to deliver anybody's children unless they are paying for you. It's insane to us as men. This is nowhere, you're not even close to offering a fair deal. And if you don't, you won't marry. And if you did marry, it doesn't sound like you'd stay. And if you did stay, it didn't sound like you would be the hell of that great to be married to. So it would be a crazy man who would do this because you might be a resentful woman. So it's like you're choosing to go the hardest way possible, a single solitary female. And you know you're not making that kind of money. This is what modern womanism and feminism has gotten you guys. Because you have a master's. And do you have any debt from college?
Not from the master's degree. I was fortunate with that, but I do still have debt from my first degree, but nothing compared to American debt.
Okay.
Small amount.
Yeah. Well, but the point is,
isn't that crazy how they already know what time it is, man? A lot of these other countries, America's the greatest country on earth, bar none. But when it comes to certain things, we know other countries take care of their people, whether that be healthcare and or education and, things like that. And you guys, you can quote that, socialism and all this stuff like that. And we can get into politics and all those things. But there's several there's a lot of socialistic programs and socialism that goes on in the U.S. as well, guys. So, but She knows what time it is, even with American debt. She was like, I already know. Nothing compared to what you guys got though. You guys are shelling out, $250,000 for a master's. But yeah.
When men and women are allowed to choose, we sort. Men sort ourselves into science, technology, engineering, math. We choose to pick careers and paths that pay more money. Women choose to take careers that they like. But you have the kind of debt. The schooling costs the same. Engineering classes cost as much as humanities do. But you chose a career path that was capped. So now you got a life choice to make. And what's happening is the value of a woman drops and the clock is starting to make decisions. We're going to be against a rock and a hard place in the next 4 years. So this is why I tell ladies like yourself to really start considering what you're willing to X off your list. Attractiveness. He just needs to be attractive enough for what?
Well, I have been thinking about it because I do listen to a lot of your videos, and I feel like a big part of a long-term relationship for a man to be satisfied is that you feel drawn to him enough that you want to have sex with him at least a few times a week and the other things. And so if there's not enough of a draw there,
then do your duty. Then close your eyes, shut your mouth, and bend over. That's what you do. Because you don't have the kind of... Because, ma'am, we're not supposed to be the attractive ones. That's your job. He needs to be attractive enough that you can look and have sex with him. If not, turn out the light. Go back in your family album. Go back and look at your family tree and show me how many movie star first leading men.
Kevin, stop telling these women that if they want to be with a handsome man, tell them let them be with a handsome man. They shouldn't have to settle for a man that's not good looking. Let her wish and let her want to get her handsome man, and she don't want to have to settle. She wants a handsome man that is paid, that's very generous. Baby, you can get it. Don't let nobody tell you different.
The women in your family married. They didn't.
I don't mean movie star level attractive.
I'm being facetious because it's to the point to where modern women, you want everything. And then even when you tone it down, it's still far too much. Nobody expects you to get with a troll. But come on, man. Because how this ends, we've already know how that ends. If you don't get somebody to share the burdens of life with, you want to live with a woman?
With a woman?
Yes, women are starting to live together.
Mm-hmm.
Elderly women are starting to live together and split bills because they didn't get men. There's a show called The Golden Girls. Do you want to do that?
Depends on the woman.
It
wasn't what I had in mind.
No. And the answer is no, because women know living with other women is a freaking problem. So you don't want to live with women. You got to find the right man, and you don't make enough to live on your own. What are y'all going to do? You better start knocking things off your list. And I'm going to say this from the man's standpoint. Most men don't want to be the man you settle for. Because at this point, I'm getting, I'll cut this, I'll cut that, I'll settle. And when you're as logical as you appear to be, you guys don't tend to be very adept in EQ. So you'll mess around and say something like this to him and end up messing with his ego. This is a good call because it was right down the line. Maybe you're 36. You got some real choices to make. Real choices. You said that you have men that are interested in you long term right now?
Yes, but I don't find them physically attractive for
Then
me.
buy a vibrator. Buy a vibrator. I'm serious. I'm not joking, man. I am not joking. Well, I don't know why. I know why women, because you've been marketed to. Women, historically, that's not what you pick a man on. You pick a man on character, not attractiveness. This is why I say the things that are coming out of your mouth are innately masculine sounding. And women will tell you, well, that's not right. You should be attracted to the man. And I'm going to tell you right now, that's great in a perfect world when you have lots of time and lots of options. You're in the middle. You're in the middle, and that's just not likely. So if you're in...
But Kevin, if she's got assets, I don't think y'all talked about how much money she's got. I mean, she don't have enough to retire on, obviously. But if she's willing to pay, she can get a good-looking guy if she's willing to pay for it. This world is based upon currency and commerce and the exchange of goods and services. That's why I'll always tell a woman, hey, there's always somebody there. And if you got the cash, the older you get, you tend to deal with younger men. And these younger men you tend to be attracted to, but they're not going to be dealing with you for free. They're going to be using you for either your assets, your funds, things like that. Because guys your age really don't want to put in the time and effort when they can just get a younger woman. So
in the middle, you're going to have to make some concessions. All right, I'm going to bring some other folks in. You're welcome to hang out. And I know a lot of that wasn't probably easy to hear, but think about it. All right.
It's God's beat maker.
And I don't know. I will put a light in the sky for the G's that done turn memory from go. Blessings we send to the ghetto youth